Hello, everybody, and welcome to Choice Change and Action podcast. So you're with me, your host, Simone Milasas, and we have today the lovely, beautiful young lady, Megan Hill.
Thank you for having me on your podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful. We were just talking. If you're listening to us, that's great. Thank you for listening. But if you're watching, you can also watch us on Spotify now and on YouTube. And I was just commenting about how beautiful Megan looked with her hair, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm growing my hair." She said, "I've never, had my hair long as a girl." So we were making a joke how she was like, "Why did you never make me look like a girl?" And she looks so beautiful and stunning now. So, and I'm sure you look beautiful as a kid as well. I just didn't know you.
Oh, there are certain things where I don't know about you, but I'm like, I just didn't learn them. I don't feel like I'm good at being like a girl. Like, I don't know how to do my hair very well. And I don't, so I'm like learning them as I go.
No, me too. Recently, actually, I don't think anyone's really noticed. I think they just do my hair different. Last year, probably like 4 or 5 months ago, I decided to get this thing called nanoplasty that is like straightening your hair. And it's
Uh-huh.
been such a bitch for me because you have to do something with your hair. Whereas I'm so used to having I love my natural curls, but they're gone
Yeah.
now. Like I have to
Right.
wait another few months for them to come back. And I do nothing. I put product in and just go out my day. And now I'm like, oh my God, I have this. So I'm just strongly suggest if whatever you have naturally, just freaking go with it.
Just
Because
rock it. Yeah.
yeah, wow. But I don't like spending that much time on my hair either. So let me tell you a funny story.
Okay.
Is Chris Hughes, who I had on the podcast last week, and we were talking about leadership because I do want to mention that about what you guys are creating,
Yeah.
David Kubis, Christopher Hughes. But I lived with Chris many, many, many years ago in Brisbane, Australia. And, I grew up in Sydney, and with all the gay guys I knew in Sydney, we would go out and they'd be like, Simone, can we do your hair? And I'd be like, yeah, you know. So I had my hair done and it was all wonderful. And they'd be like, no, wear this earring, do this, da, 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 and I was like, okay. They like dress me. So when I
Yeah.
moved in with Chris, I go, hey, can you do hair? Like, are you one of those guys? No, he goes, I can fix your plumbing. I was like, oh, okay. So, not all gay guys can do your hair, is what I learned.
Oh, it's so good.
But that's my little story. So, what I wanted to talk to you about today, which is funny because you were even saying, why did your mother, cut your hair all the time when you were younger and now you're growing your hair out? And what I wanted to talk today, because I think it's a very big part of being a leader and the choices that you make is, what if there is nothing that you cannot create, and what if there's nothing that you desire or that you want that you cannot have in your life? So I know a lot of people when I say that, go, oh, look, being greedy, oh, this is materialistic, oh, this is that. That's not what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
And you can have those things too. So when I say that, what comes up for you, Megan? Like, how would you address those sentences?
Um, well, I would say the first thing is to like for me personally, I didn't ever really I didn't want the same things that other people wanted. Do you know what I mean? Like some
I
people
do.
really wanted to be popular, or some people, I remember at a point in like middle school, I think I wanted to be popular because I wasn't popular in grade school, just wanted something else. And then I created that, or like I was whatever, I had more friends, and even that was like, oh, that's kind of lame. But I was so different. I never, looking at what everyone else wanted, I was just like, really, like that's what you want. And so I didn't, and in some ways I wasn't necessarily motivated, I guess, to have material things, you know what I mean, or like careers, or I don't know, like all the stuff that you're supposed to want. Like it didn't make sense to me. But I had other things. Like I've been like, I want to change the world my whole freaking life, like literally.
Yeah. High
So
five.
yeah, high five, like there you go. And that has shown up in all sorts of ways. And of course now, with when I found Access Consciousness, that really, all the ways that I really thought I could change the world didn't necessarily, they weren't as fun. I did campaigning for Barack Obama, and I got into politics a little bit. I got into all these little things, and it was sort of always like, all right, that's just not enough, you know? So what I would say is, like, what is it that lights you up? Because it doesn't have to be, you know, what lights me up doesn't have to light you up. But it took me a while to really get that I could actually look for what I would like. And not only look for it, but then also start creating it. And it may not be something that anyone in your family has ever desired. It may not be something that anyone in your general, you know, friend group or culture or country or anything, you know, you might be the weirdest one of your kind, and that's okay. So it's really like, for me, it's so much bigger than like, oh, I'd like to have a new car. It's like, hey, what kind of life would you like to create? What kind of world would you like to create? What kind of future would you like to be a part of? Or also, you know, we're not all going to be on Earth forever. So how would you like to leave the Earth? You know, what would you like to contribute to the planet?
Your legacy.
Yeah, your legacy.
Yeah. So let's go back to when you were a child. Do you have like, what's your first memory of acknowledging that you were different, even if nobody else did?
I remember there was this girl on the playground. I must have been, I don't know, first or second grade or something. And everyone, like, she was one of the girls that everyone was like making fun of or something. And I remember just seeing her and being like, she's so beautiful. Like, I was just like seeing her pure beauty and just not getting why people were picking on her. And I can picture her face right now. Do you know what I mean? I just was like, you are just so beautiful. And then, so that I was like, I guess I'm very different. And then there's so many times. I don't know. I'm just a weirdo,
Well,
you know?
no, but so first, second grade, because we don't, how old are you then?
I'm 43 or first grade. Sorry, it's been a day.
How old you are now? But
This is like the end of my day. I'm like, where am I and what's happening anymore?
First and second grade, because I didn't know what that is.
I think that's like
It's
7 and 8 years old.
7 or 8 years old. So 7 or 8 years old, you pondered, why are people judging this young pretty girl?
Yeah.
So what did you actually, did you have the awareness of what that was, or did it take you a long time to get that?
I didn't get it. No, I still actually don't get it. Besides, she was, I guess, different. Like, at that, you know, that age is so weird. You're just kind of like friends with everyone. But I just remember,
it's so relevant, like who you're friends with and who's your best friend. I never understood that. When people go, this is my best friend, this is my second best friend, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how do you have a best friend, second best friend, or how do you have all of this? Like, I did something. I was in that, you know, popular group for so long and got voted sports captain and, you know, all these different things. And then I went, this doesn't match the energy of what I would like. Like, it just wasn't fulfilling. And so I remember in year 11, I went to school and I went, I'm not going to hang out with anybody. And I ended up hanging out on my own. And there was one girl, very similar, one girl, tall, a beautiful girl, who people just sort of shunned her. And I started chatting to her. I didn't have an agenda. I just started chatting to her. And so I would hang out with her, like, every now and then if I hung out with anyone. But I did the whole of year 11, not the whole of year 11, probably at least half of that year, just hanging out on my own and I guess being in question, but not cognitively. It was just like, all right, what next? And then I also was disappointed with that. Like, I went, oh, okay, I'm bored. So I'll just go back to hanging out with all these people and knowing I'm different, but I guess thinking that I'm wrong for being different, because everyone would be like, I want to do this, this, and this. And I was like, I don't want to do any of those things. I want to travel the world and change the world is the two things that I was dedicated to at a really young age. Travel the world and change the world. And that's what it was for me. So somebody listening to this, Megan, and I get by now, if you're listening to this, you find some sort of familiarity in what Megan's talking about or what I'm talking about. It's like, can you see yourself in this in some format? what would you say to those people who are either in this situation right now or outgrowing it but still in judgment, etc.? Like, how would you say to start leading your life in a different way?
Like really getting that it's your life, you know? At the end of the day, it's like, whose life are you living? Yours or someone else's, you know? And it doesn't mean like whatever comes up. If you're like, oh man, I'm like living, what my mom would like, that's cool. That's, you can change that. You can start living what life you would like. I mean, I know I've talked with you, Simone, about this, but I have a son. He's amazing. And he's 14. And so the last 14 years have basically been a lot of me living not for him, but like it's been so intertwined, like as a mom, you know what I mean? It's just like there's so much, and so as he's becoming more of who he is, and there's like an actual separation that occurs, and it needs to, right? Like he's got to become his own person. It's really started getting me to start looking at where I was still creating based on, like always including him, rather than like he's even like, mom, go, like go, you know.
Mom, get out of here. Thanks for picking me up.
Go
Bye.
your life. Bye. Yeah. And so I think that, there's different stages in your life where you're invited to have another look at that. Like, hey, what if, look at everything you've created so far, and you can start again and again and again. But really look at, okay, like every choice, am I choosing this for me or for someone else, or to prove something, or because I'm really good at fulfilling people's needs and that feels good to me. So I've been like, wow, okay, I really like fulfilling needs, but what else is possible beyond that? A lot of what's been really awesome lately is really coming out of judgment of anything I've chosen, anything I'm not choosing, like anything anyone else is like the judgment is what stops you from that forward movement. It just can keep you stuck or keep you looping, but it never actually gets you creating something new. So that's where I would start looking at, okay, what is it you'd actually like to have your life be like? What would you like to have? Where would you like to live? You do all these exercises and a lot of your books and classes about getting the energy of what you'd like your life to be like. And what if it's not just one time? Like, what if you do that over and over again, the moment you're not satisfied or bored, or, if you're not freaking like off the charts, having ease, joy, and glory and happy, what else is possible? What else can you choose?
I like that. It's like knowing when to pivot, when to change. So you mentioned fulfilling other people's needs, and we're talking about, creating your life. It's like, do you have needs? And if so, what are they? And how do you fulfill them?
Do I have needs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need people to need me, Simone.
What part about that don't you get? Okay. So is that true, or have you told yourself that so you actually don't have a look at what your needs are?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And
so what are you?
Yeah, like I honestly am in that place of like, I have no clue right now. I mean, I know what my basic needs are, right? Those are obvious. But then like, what would actually really work for me? In all areas of everything. So
you say basic needs, and that's obvious. What are your basic needs that are obvious?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I love my house. I love my life. I would say those are like my basic things that like keep me going. But then like in addition, those are the places where I've realized, I don't know if it's because I grew up in the Midwest, and in the Midwest in the US, I remember Gary saying, yeah, in the Midwest, you're supposed to just be happy with what you have and never ask for more. And that's like and I'm like, that is this like, what do you want to call it? Like the soup that you swim in, that you just think that's how everyone lives. And then you meet other people, they're like, no, I will have everything and more, or everyone should give me more. So really looking at, I think what I need, that's not even a need, is I like really need the world to be like different. and not from like a judgment, but like this is not working for me. So what else can I choose to be that would change it?
You know, it was funny. I was watching Instagram last night, and you know, your algorithm does what it does. Usually mine's like horses and recipes.
Right.
But I did get onto a lot of, because I've been looking at what's happening in Iran at the moment, and it's really interesting. And everything I was looking at, everything I was watching or reading, etc., they were basically, what they were asking is, listen to us. Don't ignore what's going on. Listen to us. Like, can you please share this? Can you get this out there? Because, I mean, I know by the time we play this, there's probably going to be a different situation. And yet, for the last 48 hours, it's like there's been no internet. There's been no, most people haven't had contact with their families in the last 3 days, and they don't know if they're dead or alive, etc. But, you know, for the last 50 years, they've been functioning from, you know, a pretty harsh dictatorship. And now they're like, no, we're done. We're asking for our freedom. But you look at that and sometimes you go, oh, like what can, I'm in Australia. I'm in Queensland, Australia. What can I do? You know? But as I listened to all of this last night in each video, and some were really angry and some were just like this gentle, like, will you please just share this? Please let the world know what is actually going on and support what we're choosing. And I really got this energy of like, just even listen, and what can I be with this? You know, what can I, instead of just ignoring it and going, oh, Iran's so far away, I don't know what to do. That's too much. I can't do anything. Well, maybe I can't actually do anything, but what can I be energetically to support everybody who's actually desiring Iran to be their own country again, you know, to fight back and have that. I mean, gosh, Venezuela, like there's so many different things happening and occurring around the world at the moment. And I get sometimes people like, so for people who listen to all of this and just go, oh, they almost just want to put their hands over their ears and go, I can't listen to any more of this or handle any more of this. What if all of this was like you were in allowance of it and asking, what can I be? Like, what question can I be with this? Or who can I reach out to, or anything? It's like, to change the dynamics of what's actually happening in the world today. Like, I mean, you mentioned before, it's like, you know, what sort of life and what sort of future would you like to create? What sort of legacy would you like to leave here on this planet?
Yeah.
Can I ask you too, what would you like? Someone said to you,
I'm on a podcast. Just so you know, if you want to come hi on the podcast.
Hey, Tristan.
He's a famous YouTuber.
I'm a famous YouTuber.
Hey, Tristan. It's been ages since a famous YouTuber, but also probably going to be a very famous. We say soccer. I think you say football player.
Football. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about leaders of the future. Are you one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question, Tristan?
Yeah, sure.
What would you do? How would you describe a leader in the world? Like, for everyone listening out there. I mean, you're 14. What's a leader to you?
A leader is someone who probably like holds a pretty high standard for like a lot of people, and like people like follow them. So yeah.
And how do you choose to lead your life?
Just like hold a high standard for myself. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. I like that.
I have a question for you since Simone's got you. He's on his sports teams. They're always like, Tristan, you're the guy, you're the leader. And in school, everyone's like, you know, when he gets called in for different teacher conversations, they're like, Tristan, you're really the leader. So if you behave, then everyone else will behave because you're like the ringleader. What is that like for you?
I don't know. I don't really know. But like,
can I say, you're allowed to say whatever you want, and sometimes I would say, sorry, but I would say, fuck the teachers for saying that too, because they're trying to do is control you rather than let you actually lead the way you would like to lead.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I say, do what you know. You're a good person, Tristan, and it's been ages since I've seen you, but thank you for being you, and be the leader that you know is true for you. Keep going.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's fun.
Yeah. Well, I think also part of leadership is not doubting yourself. Like, know
Exactly.
your worth.
But
Yeah.
everything, it's interesting because he's, like you said, like the teachers are saying, hey, if you are a leader, therefore be like this, rather than what you said, which is, how would you lead? It's the same thing with your life,
Yeah. I mean, I got told that at school, and it was so, because when I got at school, I got voted a sports captain, which sports captain gets voted by the school, right? So
Yeah.
that's the kids. And there's 4 sports captains, right? You have the colors. So I got voted that. And then because you're a sports captain, you get automatic prefect. And the prefects are voted in by the teachers, right? So the only 4 prefects that are not voted in by the teachers are the sports captains. Now, 3 of the sports captains, we were friends, and they literally called us into the office and said, we don't want you to be prefects. We don't think you're worthy of being prefects, but the school has voted you in a sports captain,
Right.
and that's the system. And we were like, okay. No, like, so now you have to set an example. You have to wear your blazer. You have to wear your socks up. You have to wear your badge. You have to wear your hats. You have to do this. And we were the people who walked the back streets,
Right.
of where our school was, and smoked a cigarette. It's
Yeah.
like we weren't the prefect type. And then I actually ended up losing my prefect badge because of stuff that I
You're
got
such
up
a
to.
bad girl. Bad girl.
Yeah, I was a naughty girl. But it was interesting how they so wanted to mold us into something, and it was like, no,
Yeah.
I will be the leader that I choose to be, and I'm not a bad person. I'm just not molding into what you think I should do. I
Yep.
think that's like what Tristan was just saying. It's really
Yeah.
important for that, because it's like, God, how many people get squashed by what they know?
Yep.
Explore,
Yeah. You're 14, explore. You're whatever age, explore, So yeah, it's such an interesting, like you said, it's just such an interesting world right now where I think people are getting squashed, like there's so much noise and there's just so much out there, and it's so much easier to just be like, beep, gonna turn off, like that's, but what if all of that is actually designed to get you to not actually be the leader of your life in the future that you're actually capable of,
Yeah.
and if it didn't matter, like I don't know, like I turn off, social media way more now, but then I notice when it, like in the US, depending on when this airs, there's a lot going on locally with all this stuff that happened in Minneapolis.
You think?
Yeah.
There was something on social media the other day, it cracked me up. It's like, this is what the rest of the world does. And they open a door, and it's got this guy opening a door to the US, and it's just like sirens and bright lights and like all this like chaos and that. And he just goes, oh, and like shuts the door.
Literally like, oh, thank you. And and I found myself getting so angry, and really, like at that point, it's kind of what you were mentioning earlier. Like, all I could do was ask, all right, what can I actually be that could change this or contribute to it? Like, so there is something that's going on. Gary Douglas, who is phenomenal, he did a class a long time ago, actually in DC, called Leaders for the Future, of the Future, but there's a replay available. But like, really never give up, never give in, never quit, and never like give up on the world that you desire to live in. Like, I get that's sort of what's at play now, is they're amping things up all over the place to really get you to feel squashed, and this isn't like a political message. This is just like in general, even with that,
You're
like,
allowed to do a political message. Why not? Like, that's the thing.
I
It's
know,
like,
I'm just
like, how many of us avoid politics
true.
because we go, oh my God, but it's like, in truth,
Yeah.
a bunch of us should be in politics so that we can have statesmen to come to the fore instead of, politicians. So, I think it's totally fine. I love that you wrote that. It's like, never give up on the world that you desire. I think that's actually going to be the name of the podcast. But we will put in the show notes the link to the class that Gary did, Leaders of the Future, in Washington, D.C., as you mentioned. It was years ago, and I have the text of some of that, and it's in the Joy of Business Done Different manual, and it hasn't changed. Like, how he spoke about about being a leader. It's the times have changed. Some things have shown up different, but the energy of it is very much the same.
Yeah.
So with that, I wanted to ask you too, because sort of like what we were talking about, like with the Iranian thing yesterday, I'm like let's talk about taking action.
Okay.
And it's like, what action can we take? Can you take that's not from this fight place? It's from a different possibility showing up. So what is like, how would you describe that taking action to people listening?
Oh, well, this has taken me a long time to get because I'm a doer. I like to get in there and do a lot of things.
Fulfill people's needs, we discovered.
Yeah. So like an action can literally be when you choose to not go into resistance and reaction or into fight or aligning and agreeing and choosing to be in allowance and getting yourself to allowance, right? Like that can be one of the greatest actions you can take. And of course, you can write letters to Congress. Like there's all those like this world things that everyone can do, but the more you can get to that space of allowance where everything is just an interesting point of view and you don't have that charge with something, the more that's creating, I get that energy of like peace and calm in the world. And then, because I'm not just, nice, peace, and calm all the time. But if you get like I was saying, like I got really feisty, like I was like, I want to go and just like, I don't know what I was going to do. But I just had all that energy, and I just allowed it to be there. Whether it kind of felt like anger, it felt just like frustration, anger, like whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to try and like dismiss it or bottle it up or suppress it, but I'm just going to like be it and ask like, where can I contribute this energy that would create the greatest change?
Yeah.
And I might be delusional and I'm okay with that. But I have noticed, I remember I was really big on like saving the world and saving people. And I remember the first time we ever went to South Africa for a 6-day event. I went to Cape Town. Cape Town was the first place I went to. And up until then, I was like convinced that like all sorts of things could change the world, right? And like help everyone have more equality and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember just like seeing, I don't know if it's still the same, but when I flew into Cape Town, there's this roadway highway that you take, and it just goes by thousands and thousands of shanties where there's just like thousands and thousands of people just living in what I was judging as horrible conditions. They might be totally happy. Like, who am I to judge that that's whatever,
I think it's called Soweto.
Soweto. I really got in that moment that everyone has choice. And like the more we can empower people to realize that they actually have choice, that's what will actually change the world. The power to choose. I
love that.
Yeah. And that can sound.
Sorry, you go.
I was like, that can sound like, I don't know, it can sound whatever it can sound like. But I just remember being like overwhelmed with this, like, empowering people with choice and like getting them to realize that they have choice and getting them to realize that they actually have the power to create their life is going to create far more than donating, thousands of dollars to feed poor people somewhere else in the, you know what I mean? Like empowering people. So I like really shifted and I was like, all right, what can I be or do to empower everyone that I interact with so that they know that they have choice. Not a different one. They just have choice,
Yeah, I love that. And I'm going to put this in the show notes, but I just want to read something I found because you were mentioning about allowance. And look, a lot of the things that Megan and I are talking about, if you have attended Access Consciousness classes, they might make a little bit more sense to you. If you haven't, maybe go check it out because I know that there's aspects of Access that people resist because you go in allowance of this. Why would you be in allowance of this? But as you are in allowance of what is actually going on and what people are choosing or what politicians are choosing, etc., it allows this space to show up. And from that space, you can be in question. And that is literally, we talked about taking action. Taking action is being an allowance. Taking action is being in question, because if you think about a situation right now that you are angry at, okay, that you want to get angry at, that you want to be like, whether it's political or family or anything, if you go into that energy and just be angry, and I want you to indulge in just being angry, like for the next, 15, 20 seconds, just be fucking angry about whatever it is that's going on, okay? It's angry, 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 and you just like, rah, you want to kill, whatever it is, okay? Whatever that situation is for you. Now, if you change the energy, which is an action, and you go, okay, maybe it's just pretty fucking shitty what's happening here, and what allowance can I be with this? What other choice is available? It's like, what possibilities are available that we have not yet explored? Because if every politician actually started asking questions, and even asking that one question, what possibilities are available that we have not yet explored, then it allows something different to show up. So by being allowance, it's like the rock in the stream. It's like you're this rock in the stream, and everything is going around you, but pretty much like what Tristan, the energy he was talking about. It's like being strong with who you are, what you know, and what you want to create as a life and a future here on the planet. What legacy do you want to live? All of that. It's like then you get to be a different energy and a different contribution to the entirety of the world, or whatever situation it is that you are currently, thinking about when I say this. So anger is only going to create more of that. Whereas that energy of being, it's an energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did a podcast actually beginning of this year, and it was on the meshed reality, which we call matter, energy, space, and time. And then you've got the convergence of possibilities, and the convergence of possibilities is being in question and being an allowance. So if you haven't listened to that, maybe go back and listen to that as well. It might give you some more information. But that matter, energy, space, and time is when we make things matter, that it's not that they don't matter. It's like, what else can you be with this? Because you can be something that can change everything,
I love that.
Yeah.
It's also, how many of you listening, like, do people say to you like, oh, when you're around, it's just so wonderful? Or, when you walk into the room, everything changes. Who you be actually shifts the room that you're in and the people that you're around. And like, I see that with Tristan I think sometimes he doesn't know it because he's the one being it. But like when he's in a great mood and the whole team's like vibing and going, like it changes the game.
Everything. Yeah.
And if he's like having a bad moment, it can also take the team down a bit, So it's like, I think sometimes when you like, if you don't realize that you like the energy that you choose to be can shift everything. And these are tools that can get you to shift the room, you know what I mean? Like they can get you to shift the energy of the room. And the thing about anger too is, this helped me so much, is anger is always an indication of when there's a lie, spoken or unspoken. And so if you're listening to, whatever, and you find yourself getting angry, just ask yourself, okay, what's the lie, spoken or unspoken? And even just asking that can start shifting it, so that you don't have to like get stuck in your anger and, whatever that is, but all those things can point you into the direction of what you know. And that's, I think, also part of like, what we've been talking about is, what do you know? And what if you were willing to, yes, you can have a voice for that, but also you can be something that starts to, create something different for the whole world. And it can sound easy or ease-filled, but what if it actually is? What if changing the world isn't hard? What if it's just something that we have to choose in a different way?
I love that. What if it's about choice? So I'm just going to read this short thing out there, Gary. It's just a quote from Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness. And it says, look for allowance of you, as you, and no point of view. When you have no point of view, you can be anything. When you can be anything, you can do anything. When you can do anything, you can have anything. When you can have anything, you can create anything. When you can create anything, you can create a different world. Like, with Access Me, you can literally have access consciousness in your pocket. And the best part, you choose how much. There are 3 different subscription options, whether you just want to dip your toes in or have full access to over 25 years of classes. Go to access.me and start today. So just to end off here, Megan, I want to ask you a question too. And we will have a link. There's a call that you guys have coming up in February. That's with yourself, Dr. David Kribis and Christopher Hughes on leadership. And I highly recommend that you guys go check it out, because it's a topic that I think people don't realize that every single one of you can be a leader if you choose, as we've been talking about. It's not like just for someone with a degree, a master's degree or something like this. No, it's not. It's like you can be a leader in your home, a leader, at your local cafe. It's like, or at the workplace or in a sports team, anything. It's like being a leader of your own life is imperative to creating a different future here, is what I would say.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you something before we end. What are you, because we're at the beginning of 2026, it's like, is there anything that you're particularly excited about, maybe even making you a little uncomfortable, that you would like to choose?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I mean, holy shit. Like, I don't know, with everything that's going on in the world, to me, there feels like there's so much possible.
Yeah.
And I know you have, it's like a membership. I don't know. I've just seen your t-shirts and now I can't remember if like the chaos.
The Profit Club. It's called the Profit Club. Yeah.
But the chaos choice, or sorry, chaos.
Magic, Miracles, and Chaos.
Was that a telecall or a program?
I love you. It's I've got it on a t-shirt, Magic, Miracles, and Chaos, which is going to be coming out. You're going to be able to buy that. But we did a call on it, but it's just, I keep introducing it to everything, because if we can, I think if we can introduce Magic, Miracles, and Chaos, that's where everything sort of starts to show up.
Yes, that. And so that's what I'm asking for. That's what's showing, I had Gary Douglas just did a telecall on that topic. And what I really got in a totally different way is that, and he drilled this in actually, is that it's what you have to choose to be. It's not about like, oh, I want to do magic, or I'm going to do chaos, or I'm going to do possibilities, but what can you be? And then when you choose that, then all the doorways start opening. And that for me is like, I don't know about you, just in the last like week or so, I'm noticing that these doors are opening, and that can sound so crazy. And I honestly kind of feel crazy at the time when it's happening, because I'm like, there's a different, and I hope all of you guys were on the Convergence for a Different Future. Convergence of the Possibilities for a Different Future. That's what it was. It's a free call that Gary and Dane did. There's 2 of them. You can go to, I think it's drdanehere.com/convergence. But man, is it exciting. Like,
I had all of that in a loop throughout that Christmas, New Year time, because you not only got those 2 free calls, you got an ESC, Energetic Synthesis of Communion with Dr. Dane, and he also gifted you one of his calls from his membership called You Got This.
Yeah.
So we have put this in the show notes before, but we'll put it in again, because if you haven't and you've just been like, going, oh, I'll do that one day, what if today was the day? Because it was phenomenal.
Seriously. And it's shifting everything. I mean, like, yes, there's so much shit going on in the world, but all of that plus like all the things that have been going on, it's really giving me the space to look at from everything of like possibilities, not to converge into, oh my God, the world's, going to be, the future's terrible, everything's terrible, like, which is really what, a lot of people are heading towards. But that doesn't have to be what happens, and it doesn't have to be the way that your life is. And these calls and then everything, it's just like, I don't know. I'm so excited. I'm also terrified, but not really. Like, I'm more just like so fucking excited for, like, we are so fucking magical, Simone.
I know. I love this. And it's funny, you're just talking about this too, and like taking action. Like, after I'm finished with you, I'm going to go work out in my gym downstairs, which it goes out onto my backyard. And one of the things I love doing is just being in my backyard, like even just putting my hands and my feet in the soil and just being there with the soil and the land. Like, that's an action you can take. You start being grateful for the earth. It's like the earth has got your back, man. It's like, that's how it works. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yes.
receiving that, like receiving the earth, like what if you could actually start receiving the contribution that everything can be for you that maybe you've, been taught isn't possible. Like there's so much that I've literally been taught isn't possible, like not taught, but like the lies of what's possible for you and for your life. And that's really what's starting to like melt, is that what if anything and everything is possible, and what would you like to choose? And that's where it's like, okay, and it's on me to choose. So everything's possible. And what are you going to choose?
Be the leader.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much, Megan.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Mom.
being here. We will have all of your details in the subscription notes as well. If you want to find Megan and where she is, or book a session, or go to one of her classes, etc., anything. So is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with?
I think this has been great. Thank you so much. Thank you for you. Thank you for all your hard-hitting investigative questions about leadership.
Oh, you're so welcome. What else is possible? Thank you so much for being here. And thanks everyone for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe. Leave a review. Okay, why not? Leave a review. I would love that, because I would like this to get out there to the masses so people realize you're actually not alone either. There's a hell of a lot of people who are desiring something different on the planet. So let's
What
be
would
that.
it take? Yeah, what would it take to make this podcast? Like, I was watching the Golden Globes last night, and there's like the top, 5 podcasts that got different awards, and I was like, yours needs to be up there.
Thank you. Who was the most popular?
What's her name? The blonde comedian, Amy something.
Amy Schumer?
Huh? No. Hold on. She does it on like being a good, like having good, wholesome conversations that are like happy and not too hard hitting.
I've never even heard of it. Well, did Stephen Bartlett get up there?
I don't think so. Kevin Hart was one. I might be totally butchering this now.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you. I can't remember.
Okay. Oh, I think it's like, and Will Arnett and that they do one as well. Maybe a bit American based. So Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett, I put a big shout out to him all the time. His podcast that I listen to a lot. It's like, it's amazing. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much again. And thanks everyone. Please share it, do all of that. What would it take for this to be huge? Okay. Love you.
Bye.